Alright, Dill, let's try this thing again. It's been a minute since we've done anything like this on the channel. Obviously we had our vlogs on a separate channel for a little bit there. But yeah, I think we'll be bringing it back. So training's been honestly a bit weird since Worlds. Like, Worlds was a bad time. I didn't perform well. I got sick the day of. It really got me down quite a bit, I think. Really kind of made me not as excited about my own training for quite a while. So a lot of what I've been doing is just trying to kind of get that back. Trying to find some enjoyment in training again. And part of doing that for me a lot of the times is just kind of like being a bit reclusive in my training, right? Like just doing it for me, not worrying about what it might look like or what the weights are or posting anything on Instagram or YouTube or any of that kind of stuff. So we've been getting there. We've been cutting. I'm down about 5 or 6 kilos now from Worlds, so sitting at like 114, 115. And so far so good. Strength hasn't taken too much of a hit. Bench has been kind of maintaining. I'm hoping to go up 2.5 kilos on my bench today. Today will be a session that I missed on Monday actually. So making that up with some squat and some bench. Squat's been going pretty well. I'll either be repeating the 265 for 6 from last week, or if things feel really good, going 270 maybe for a set of 6, which would be, again, quite good. And yeah, I've got some plans and some thoughts in terms of what comes next with training that I'm pretty excited about, but I think we'll just kind of get there when we get there. I'm not in a rush to talk about or hype up any of that kind of stuff. I think I want to see if I enjoy it first before I make it into a thing. So yeah. All right, well, we're back to vlogging on Maine. And the first day back sucks. Like I said earlier, this block hasn't been great. I've had some highlights. Squatted 265 for 6 last week. That felt pretty good. Today I got 260 for 4.
Every squat I did was all over the fucking shop. And I doubt it looked that bad. I doubt it looked that hard. But mentally, I don't have it today. So, great example to set for everybody. I think I had put it out of my head that, like, you know, I'd hit like 270 or 272 today, but figured at least I'd be able to do 5 kilos less than last week. Maybe I could have, but struggling, man. This might be the first day I've kind of felt the cut, I think. Maybe that's part of it. Down 5 or 6 kilos, and yeah, every squat rep just felt foreign. Like I'm wiggling around, I'm all over my feet, losing my back position, hitting the bottom too hard. I got no like stopping power in the bottom. Just feels foreign and bad. So, yeah. The shining, triumphant return to vlogging on main. Everyone can see that the shining, smiling, joking educator is human. And sometimes it just sucks. Sometimes shit sucks. And this session, those squats, at least, let's not get overboard. Those squats just sucked. Last week of the block, like I said, this has been kind of all over the place with travel and stuff, so yeah, I don't know. We'll see how bench goes. I probably have to assume the bench is down. I was hoping to go up 2.5 because I've hit 157.5 for 6 for like 3 or 4 weeks now, and it's been getting very slightly progressively better. So I was hoping 160 would be the call today, but based on that, I really don't think it is. So, I don't know, sometimes you just gotta kind of scrape it together and do what you can. Doesn't help my shoulder just fucking kills every time I get under the bar. By the time it pops, snaps, and cracks for like the 3rd or 4th time, it kind of goes numb. And I can jam it in there into position, so there's that at least. But yeah, I don't know. Been missing sessions, not sleeping super well. It's bound to catch up at some point, I think, you know? But, I don't know, the show must go on, so let's go bench. Maybe it'll be not bad. Who knows? A guy can dream.
Oh, that looked like it would have scraped your scalp.
No, I didn't really hit it that hard. I really want you to focus in on just how bad I am at overhead press. Really make sure you get my struggle with 50 kilos and how winded and exhausted I am after barely eking out 50 kilos for 12. Oh, bench wasn't totally shitty. That's good. It was good. And honestly, 50 for 12 is pathetic, but it doesn't hurt my shoulder. So I gotta think there's some kind of like, there's some shit like mechanically wrong with that shoulder. And I think overhead press is one of the ways I can help rebuild it and fix some stuff. Because it's just like, I mean, even detrained and not in good shape right now, you know, I probably still bench 190-ish. And I can barely overhead press 50. Like, that's not, like there's something very wrong there. So, and I think it might be more than just I don't train overhead press. So I think continuing to push overhead press and like use it as a bit of a rehabilitation tool for the shoulder is probably a wise idea. But yeah, it is bad. I think I'm also, like my triceps were pretty fatigued from hammering a bunch of bench when I'm already terribly detrained. Like I missed a session or two last week, a session or two the week before, missed a session this week. Like I have just done this to myself. Not that I, you know, haven't had good reason to be missing sessions, but it still sucks, you know. And obviously this isn't the like, oh yeah, let's get back to filming some training. And the first thing I do is take 10 kilos off what I was supposed to hit for a top set and miss 2 reps. Like, I don't know. I'm not immune to like feeling pressure, right? Like the like pressure to do it for the gram or whatever you want to call it, like social comparison, that kind of shit, you know? Like we decide, okay, we're gonna film vlogs again. And I'm like, all right, well, at least my squat's good right now. And the first thing that happens is my squat is not good. Like it just feels bad. So yeah, I don't know. It's a bummer, but what are you gonna do? I don't know. Get pissed off about it and move on. Hopefully it doesn't suck as much next week. Next week will be washout, but yeah. Looking forward to pressing the reset button on this block, that's for sure. Ugh. So that's episode 1 of, I don't know, quest to not suck, I guess. Yeah. We're gonna be trying a whole bunch of new stuff with the channel again, just trying to put up more varied things. Might even be return of an old fan favorite. But yeah, my own personal kind of journey through training has been tumultuous since Worlds. So trying to figure out where I fit as an athlete. You know, I've had a lot of like really incredible successes as a coach, you know, with Brittany and Danielle and the rest of the Team Canada at the World Games. Like, that is, as far as I'm concerned, like the Super Bowl of powerlifting. And to have an athlete win that is something I'll, you know, be proud of and carry with me forever. You know, being able to be there and coach Team Canada be one of the coaches of Team Canada, I should clarify, was incredible, amazing, you know. Something that, like, if I could go back and tell me 10 years ago, you know, that I would accomplish that, it would be kind of mind-boggling, you know, and so special. So that side of things, you know, is really great. But the other side of things is like just dealing with and coming to terms with the fact that I'm not, you know, at least in the category I have been competing in for a few years now, like I'm not a front runner, you know, I'm not, like I barely eked into the top 10 there. And, you know, as the talent pool deepens, that's just something that happens, right? As I get older and have less of my, you know, gains ahead of me and more of them behind me, it becomes more and more of a struggle. So finding, like, not necessarily training motivation, but like drive, you know, trying to figure out, like, what am I doing this for? What is the goal? And, you know, I spoke a lot after Worlds about wanting to, you know, get healthy and lose some weight. And, you know, there's a lot of reasons for things in there. But, you know, if the only reason I'm doing stuff is to, you know, get healthy and lose weight, like, why lifting? Why powerlifting? You know? So, yeah, I guess I'm just trying to figure out how I fit as a lifter and where that, you know, leads, or how that makes sense. Because for a long time, you know, I was the front runner. I was looking at deadlift world records, and, you know, that might not be where I'm at right now anyways. Or ever again. So, yeah, it's coming to terms with some pretty big stuff, trying to figure out and make sense of it, which is a bit of a messy process, you know? Trying to understand what I want from lifting and what I'm able to get from lifting, and how that has to be different than it was. So, yeah. I think there's a lot of, like, conflicting desires and things like that, right? Like, I'd love to be like that guy again, you know? Be out there and, like, top competitive, open, whatever. But I mean, the fact of the matter is, like, I'll be 38 this year. And not to say that people can't do it, people don't do it. I just, like, I'm not seeing myself there, you know, post Worlds. So trying to figure out where I do see myself, you know. And yeah, I have some ideas. So training might get a little exciting here in a few weeks, but we got to wrap this week up, deload or wash out next week, and then get into trying some new stuff out. See if I can breathe some life back into training a little bit, because I got to be honest, it's feeling a little stale right now. It's feeling a little like I'm just grinding for the sake of grinding, you know, and having sessions or even just exposures like that squat exposure today is like, man, why am I doing this to myself, you know? So I got to figure out that why and figure out how that's maybe changed from what it was before, and how to approach and see my training and see myself in relation to my training as I move forward. So I don't know, come along on the journey with me as I jabber in long-winded diatribes and speak very redundantly, making the same point 7 or 8 times in a row, if you'd like. Yeah, that's about all I have for today. So hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully maybe some of you can relate and are going through some similar things. If you are, I hope it helps to know that you're not alone in training being weird and meaning weird things for periods of time. And we'll keep a lot of the educational stuff coming, for sure. We got another one of those we'll film tomorrow. And like I said, there might be something very surprising one of these Fridays. Okay, bye.